الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على النبي العربي الأمين. Your Royal Highness, Princess Sumaya bint Hassan, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this important milestone in a partnership between Jordan and Europe. Over 3.5 years ago, Professor Isa Batase, the then President of Princess Sumaya University for Technology, asked us to set the objectives to increase the visibility and internationalization profile PSUT. The European Union was our focus, natural focus, for us both in our geographical links and also in the context of a strong tradition of sharing expertise and supporting the mobility of students and staff through the campus program. Our response was to propose a campus project in partnership with our fellow Jordanian universities and a range of leading European institutions in the subject of renewable energy, and with a focus on modernizing the undergraduate curriculum so that we can provide Jordanian renewable energy business and research with high-quality entrepreneurial graduates. Professor Batase strongly supported the initiative, as he was a new president, was a specialist in renewable energy, and he had just launched a new bachelor's degree program in renewable energy at PSUT. We were excited too, but for different reasons. I personally saw this as a chance to introduce change, transform mindsets, and move students from an environment of rote learning into modern modes of critical thinking and innovation, particularly by making them the center of the learning process. We also must work towards sharing our expertise across Jordanian universities, finding common ways of teaching, learning, working, and also retaining our individual qualities. This was notably important because modernized teaching and learning is developed across the world, and we must make sure that we remain competitive in the internationalized higher education marketplace. Only then could we hope to achieve what the great Nelson Mandela said: education is the most powerful weapon which we can use to change the world. We convene here today to celebrate a process of cooperation, endurance, diligence, and patience. We convene here today to thank and express our gratitude to the European Commission for offering us this opportunity to move together across Jordan and Europe and to ensure that the significant investment is sustained and contributes towards Jordan benefiting particularly from its access to a critical source of renewable energy, the sun. And we thank the partnership, all European and Jordanian, professors, engineers, technicians, staff, and presidents, but most of all, students, who have all dedicated so much time and effort. As with all complex projects involving many university administrations, individual personalities, and not to forget the considerable administrative process of the Commission itself, we hope that the project partners feel a sense of ownership, accomplishment, and achievement. Your Royal Highness, this partnership is led by a university which you graced with your name, involves 9 prestigious European and Jordanian universities with 2 young companies on board, 1 Spanish and 1 Jordanian. Of real significance, however, has been the focus on the individual mobility of staff and researchers. Hundreds of trips have taken place over the Mediterranean in both directions. A great deal of deliberation, dialogue, and discussions took place. Many seminars, workshops, lectures, meetings, and events were organized. New networks of collaboration were formed, and our students have told us of the life-changing experience when visiting our European partners. we have much work to do to overcome Jordan's resilience on imported energy, currently standing at 96% of its needs and amounting to 16.2% of its GDP. We are blessed with an abundance of sunshine in the country. Yet our partner in cloudy Germany is a world leader in the solar power industry. We must ensure that our students become every bit as innovative and productive in solar energy. As His Majesty the late King Hussein has always said, that the human resource is indeed the most precious to Jordan, and that the student of today is not only the leader of tomorrow, but the most valuable driver of change, change that does not roll in the wheels of inevitability, but comes through continuous struggle and hard work. We owe it to our students to provide them with world-class curriculum. The MUREE Campus project has set the foundations of a modern curriculum, not just in a pedagogic context, but also in the context of modern ways of teaching and learning, driven by what the European Commission calls the Bologna process. Guided by our European partners, we have been able to identify, design, and deliver 6 renewable energy courses in solar thermal energy, photovoltaic, wind energy, renewable energy systems, energy conversion, drives and machines. The courses were then delivered 15 times, and I hope that they will be to be delivered, by 12 different professors to over 670 students in the 5 Jordanian universities. Members of faculty from TU Berlin and University of Cyprus helped in teaching. The students were then given the opportunity to visit one of the 4 European partner universities, TU Berlin, Sapienza, University of Cyprus, or UNIL, in order to undertake and complete an activity such as a project, experiment, prepare a report, and the like, as part of the course. Furthermore, equipment worth hundreds of thousands of euros was purchased to update and modernize our laboratories. A renewable energy training center, equipped with a state-of-the-art computer software and hardware, has been established at the University of Jordan to serve all Jordanian universities in training staff in pedagogical and technological renewable energy aspects, such as experiment and equipment setup, usage, operation, and maintenance. The center has recently conducted professional training workshops in photovoltaic, wind, solar, and renewable energy systems directed to students and academic staff from different Jordanian universities, as well as to stakeholders such as ministries, NGOs, and leading companies in the field of renewable energy in Jordan. In fact, special training was recently given to Syrian students. The jewel in the crown of the MUREE project is, however, the 4 remote laboratories that we designed, installed, and successfully operated as a network of online renewable energy experiments that can be accessed and performed by students around the globe, from anywhere in Jordan and the globe to that matter. The network of experiments are physically distributed to 4 Jordanian universities: JUST, Hashemite, Mu'ta, and PSUT. Here, I must applaud the efforts and sincerity of our friend, Professor Manuel Castro, and his team at UNED, the National University of Distant Learning in Spain, for their tremendous help in this endeavor. With their help, Jordan has become the first country in the region to introduce internet-linked labs in the higher education system that has many ramifications, including sharing resources and efficient and effective teamwork. Your Royal Highness Princess Sumaya, ladies and gentlemen, the success of Jordanian universities must be built on a process of both working together as universities in Jordan and working with partners across the globe. Europe is a very significant partner in this process. MUREE demonstrates this very clearly. because following the vision of Your Royal Highness, former and acting presidents of PSUT have always facilitated, supported, and favored international cooperation, and whom I thank for their support of MUREE. Thanks are also due to the presidents of universities of Jordan, Muqta, Hashemite, and Just for supporting the project and for actually taking part in its activities, including their effort in making the Bologna process more visible in Jordan. I would also like to thank Professor Wujdan Abul-Haja, our ex-Dean of Engineering, and her team for the marvelous work and efforts in making the project a success, and to the PSUE Finance Department for handling a very difficult, overwhelming task of managing such a large grant efficiently. In addition, please allow me to thank Mr. Mahmoud Moore, who has accompanied me every step of the long MUREE way, and for designing, operating, and updating a new IT platform for managing projects administratively and financially, in addition to a very rich and informative website that we hope will be handed into the MUREE network that has been established by the consortium to possess and manage. Thanks are also due to Professor Mike Blackmore, the external quality evaluator of the project, and whom I met 6 years ago in Durham University, a great partner of PSUT. Professor Blackmore has played an active role in the project by providing the whole consortium with advice, guidance, steering, direction, and protection. I cannot thank him enough for all his great and wonderful efforts. Your Royal Highness, Princess Sumaya bint Hassan, ladies and gentlemen, with an enthusiastic team, one can achieve almost anything. It is essential, as teamwork means that one can always blame someone else. But seriously, the MUREE campus project is a fruit of a team work from 12 different institutions in 6 different countries, most of whom have never met before. To all, every one of them, present and absent, I say thank you. And please forgive me by saying that MUREE is an example project, is a role model and as for most campus projects previously and Erasmus Plus now, that elucidates the need for capacity building in higher education in Jordan. We urgently need to launch our own capacity building program that identifies our problems, advocates for change, and harness reform. I cannot say that such a program may be considered as outside the scope and the mandate of the Scientific Support Fund. We are confident that we will benefit from continuing vision, guidance, and support from Your Royal Highness in modernizing our higher education system. Thank you very much. Now I kindly call upon Professor Manuel Castro to deliver his speech on behalf of the consortium.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Abdullah. Thank you, Royal Highness, to be here with your presence in this closing ceremony. Thank you to the board of the Princess Sumaya University and for Professor Abdullah Sudi, that leader this project, that is an example, as it all, to be in the cooperation of European and Jordan in this case. We have collaborated during the last 3 years. I'd like to thank to all the academic people and to all the city people that is here in this final conference today. But we will continue working in several new projects and so on. This project has been set up for the Princess Sumaya University, having in mind that we have 5 different universities in Europe, one more small and medium enterprise company in Europe, 2 in the south part of Spain. And we have to set up several universities there in Jordan, in 4 different places of Jordan, Amman, Irbid, Mota, and Circa. I believe this is the one wonderful network. It's a really wonderful place to work, and we deliver and we do a lot of work in the last 3 years to work in there. And we work in collaboration. We have a multicultural collaboration. We have different visions from the German people, Spanish people, Austrian people, Cyprus people, and Italian people there from Europe, and of course for all the Jordan people that was as partners in the project. And we have networking face-to-face and virtual. We put a lot of effort in the virtual activities there. This is one of the things that we have to, thanks to the Tempus Park and the new Erasmus Plus, inside this kind of project that we put all people together to collaborate there. And we improve capabilities and we improve competences inside the working people and inside, of course, the students. It was a really pleasure to have 2 weeks ago in Madrid 8 students from the different parts of Jordan, and so several there was teachers and professors, hundreds of meetings that we have delivered in the project that try to improve our competences to collaborate and our synergies to work for the future. And now one of the parts of the objectives of the project was to have the adoption of the European higher education area. We have in the last 10 years a lot of, not revolution, because I believe that we need some bit more to have a revolution there in Europe, but we have a lot of evolution in the new era of higher education. And this kind of thing is the one that we are now having in Jordan to work with this. In the core topic of the project, that is the renewable energies. We are working in this area. My part of this project is not really devoted to the technical part of the renewable energy, it was mainly devoted to the renewable labs. And we are having this kind of things of working in high technology education, enhancing the education that you have in engineering now in Jordan, and we have in Europe too, because this project, as I told, is a synergy, and we are working together. We put a lot of effort in the laboratory developments, in remote operation of the laboratory, and we have split it in all Jordan for the people to collaborate there. We have a new teaching and learning platform, a learning management system that you have now in Jordan to collaborate with all the universities, and we do have a successful collaboration in publications that we have for the future. To close this talk, thanks to all the project and thanks to all the universities there in Jordan and the people next year, I'd like to recommend you to visit our website. We have a really successful website. We have more than 200 pages booked for all the events that we hit. We have more than 30 news and events there. We have more than 10 videos and interviews that we put in the website. And we have to put in there more than 300 pictures of all the meetings that we have today. Thank you to Royal Highness, thank you to all the people here, and thank you for the opportunity to work. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Castro, for your contribution and for your friendship to PSUT and Jordan in general. Ever since you stood on this very stage 4.5 years ago to launch the IEEE Education Conference, one of the most important education initiatives that's now known for thousands of engineers around the world. Thank you. Your Royal Highness, Princess Sumaya. We would like to express our heartfelt gratitude for your continued patronage and for being a great and a true source of inspiration for the PSUT family and for the higher education community in Jordan. We feel really honored and most grateful for you being with us today. And I kindly call upon your Royal Highness to address the audience.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. كل عام وانتم بخير جميعا. Excellencies, distinguished guests, honored guests, dear PSUT family. Today, on the second day for student enrollment or student attendance, I should say, at the university, it's a pleasure to be welcoming you all to this final conference. And I have to, on the outset, thank Professor Abdullah Zobi for a very inspiring speech. I think anything I say now will be a very hard act to follow, so thank you very much for your very kind words. It certainly is a pleasure to welcome you to the final conference of the Modernizing Undergraduate Renewable Energy Education EU Experience for Jordan. a project that is at the very heart of the country's and region's welfare. Renewable energy, as has been mentioned, is perhaps the most important component of global well-being at the moment. The wider objective of MUREE was to develop, integrate, accredit, and evaluate a quality bachelor degree program in renewable energy in Jordan, with an appropriate laboratory component jointly taught by universities in Jordan in accordance with the Bologna process. This would ensure that universities in Jordan are placed in a position to offer quality education compatible with European standards and meets socio-economic needs of the emerging knowledge-based society by strengthening renewable energy teaching in order to graduate professional leaders who can meet market needs of the country. This has never been more true than of the philosophy of the Board of Trustees at PSUT. Yes, we are a university of technology, but we have always maintained that this is a Jordanian university for Jordanians, by Jordanians, with the best of international standards. So when we started to look at the specializations that would really meet market needs, renewable energy had to be at the top of the list. We always said that we needed to be focused on technology, but diverse within our applications. And as Dr. Abdullah mentioned, it was very important that we really moved away from the conventional way of teaching and gave our students the opportunity to think out of the box and to really move into risk-taking and trying something completely different. We learned from the European model, and I'm not meaning the European model of today. I'm meaning the European model that created a European Union following a very fragmented time in history. We remember post-World War II, and we remember a very fragmented Europe. We remember a Europe that would not have seen or expected to see France and Germany communicating with each other. But it was the inanimate objects of coal and steel that brought that fragmented Europe together and led to the second industrial revolution of what we call today Europe. And second enlightenment that has really encouraged the prosperity and economic sustainability that Europe so enjoys. Today, as we look around ourselves in this region, a fragmented region again, we start thinking about those animate elements of energy, of water, and of environment. And we realize that through the education and investment in our human resources, as my late uncle, King Hussein, mentioned, if we invest in our human resources to really look at those resources at our fingertips, energy, water, and environment, and together bring a fragmented part of the world together, along the basis of teaching energy and water for a human environment, then we as PSUT will be contributing to developing the safe haven for future generations that this region so dearly needs. So, dear friends, its direct aim to enhance the capacity and enable Jordanian partner universities to develop sustainable renewable energy bachelor programs with the state-of-the-art educational technologies, MUREE contributed to a sustainable outcome that will promote curriculum reform and engineering education and leave a longer-term legacy for the Jordanian universities. I always like to quote a Brazilian saying that says societies are created by people who plant trees under whose shade they know they will not sit. And this is how we here at PSUT and with the other partners in this program, I believe, are thinking. We know that we are creating and planting and planning for a better future for our children and their children, God willing. PSUT is proud to have worked harmoniously and collaboratively with Tempus and other European and Arab partners over the past 2 decades. Much has been learned and much gained, whether in academics, administration, or infrastructure. However, the journey towards excellence can be long and very arduous. But we are fortunate to have had all who are gathered here as friends. As PSUT, is part of this campus, which also comprises the Royal Scientific Society and the iPark, the synergy between the three complementary entities has not only served to strengthen each of them individually, but also resulted in numerous academic research and business initiatives with external partners as well. This final MUREE Dissemination Conference aims at presenting to university academics and industry leaders in Jordan the results of the project and the latest development on educational methodologies in this field. It brings together scientists, research, engineers, manufacturers, practitioners, and customers from Europe and Jordan to share and discuss state-of-the-art research, applications, advances, and developments in renewable energy. What a wonderful opportunity for a cross-fertilization of ideas between academia and private and public sectors. We even have the Army represented here by the Royal Jordanian Geographic Centre as well. So all stakeholders within Jordan and within the industry sector have certainly been true players within this agreement. It also promotes and disseminates knowledge concerning several topics and technologies related to renewable energy systems and sources, assisting researchers, scientists, manufacturers, companies, communities, agencies, associations and societies to keep abreast on new developments in the field and help find alternative energy solutions to current issues such as the greenhouse effect, sustainable and clean energy issues. I hope that this will not conclude our efforts in striving for better education in Jordan and the region, but mark the commencement of the next project to follow through our results and findings by MUREE with Tempus. And on a final note, I should say I have just returned from Budapest, where I sit on the steering committee for the World Science Forum, which will take place in Hungary at the beginning of November. Once that Science Forum is completed on the 7th of November, Jordan will assume the presidency for the next World Science Forum in October 2017. And I know that this project will have a very loud voice to be heard in that forum, so I look forward to welcoming you all again then. Thank you very much, and I wish you all a very successful day and deliberations. Thank you.